Welcome back to Low Buck Builds. Today's video is going to be a marathon of TJ videos from 2025, so please enjoy. Alright, so this came with the Jeep, and those who know it's a 33 by 12 and a half, and it's a stock rim, so you have to have that back spacing. So I'm going to get this off. I ordered this from Amazon, link in the description. This, I'm hoping, has enough back spacing so we can use it for the spare for the Jeep. So let me get it opened up, we'll take a look. I should have been a fishing YouTuber. Holy cow, it's got a lot of back spacing. I like the mat. Well, that's a ton of back spacing. Alright, so here we go. As you can see, lots of back spacing. You can push that tire out. The other rim is pretty much flat here, so it pushes everything in and tucks the tire. You don't want your tire tucked in and runs into the stuff when you have big 12 and a half wide tires. So yeah, let's go get it mounted and I'll bring you guys back. All right, we got them thrown back in the back of the Suburban, so we're gonna go get them mounted up and then we'll get it on the Jeep. Well, the tire's getting switched to the right rim, I should say. We're gonna go ahead and get this project car out. This is our flip car. We're almost done with it. You'll see those videos later on. This happens to be some new air shocks for the Suburban. My air shocks have been out for a while, but since we're going to be hauling the Jeep to Sturgis, we're going to have to go ahead and switch these shocks out tonight. So I need to get this car out of the way, and then we got to do a little bit to the Jeep over there to get it ready. Then we're going to be putting the new rear shocks in the Suburban. So let me get this car out of the way, and we'll start getting stuff ready. So we got the U-Haul rental trailer. I'm working on getting another car hauler. As soon as I get this black car sold, that's one of the things I'm going to buy with the money. So here we are. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It's about 3 weeks later, but we did get this mounted. I just been sick. We did go over to Bundy Hill, had a lot of fun. I was too sick to film, but we still did it. So we're going to go ahead and get this put on. I want to test fit it and see if it rubs or anything when we turn the wheel. And we'll get it mounted and we'll put it on the back and wrap this video up. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and test fit. We're going to go ahead and throw it on here and make sure that we can turn both ways and it doesn't rub. I read online that 4.5 and 5 is recommended for no rubbing and 4 rubs a little, so let's find out. All right, we're gonna start it up and see if it rubs. Yeah, we got plenty of clearance. Clears the brake. Yep. All right. I forgot to put the center cap on, but that's how she looks. Fits good. So let's get it mounted on the back of the Jeep. All right, we're gonna go ahead and install our tire on the back. I misplaced my bumpers, so I'm gonna have to install those back on later. So before I end the video, I'll do a quick walk around the tire, but first I want to get my new cover. I want to show you guys something, so hang tight. All right, we got it on, and check this out. A little free advertisement for the channel. So back here we got clearance. Eventually I want to go ahead and find those stoppers to go back here, but this will work for now. But boom. That's awesome. If you made it this far, thank you for watching, and if you like this video, hit that like button. And if you want to see more videos about this Jeep or other similar videos, then please subscribe. Welcome back to Low Buck Builds. In today's video, we're going to be building a custom cold air intake for my 2001 Jeep TJ. We're not building this for performance reason. We're building this because I wanted to clear up some space by getting rid of that big air box. So we're going to run a tube from here, and we're going to try to get the filter down in this area somewhere. We removed the box so we could install the switch panel. So yeah, you can see I got a lot of stuff I need to move around. So we're gonna go ahead and get everything ready, and then we'll be right back. I should have been a fishing YouTuber. All right, so we bought two separate kits from Amazon. We bought an air filter kit. This is kind of a conical filter. It's got a 4-inch diameter. It comes with a couple of adapters and a hose clamp. And then we bought this hose, which this is pretty neat because you can move it around. It's kind of like a dryer hose in a way, but a little stronger. But you got 2 mounting points, and you can move this around. I think it stretches out to about 2.5 feet. So we're gonna try to go ahead and do a quick budget little air intake here. It's a cold air intake because really it's not drawing cold air. It's not gonna boost performance. This is a 4-cylinder TJ. I'm not worried about that. But what it's gonna do is clear up some space under the hood so I can have room for wiring more accessories and so on. So let's go ahead and get to installing this. I'm hoping that these adapters here will be all I need to go from one end to the other. So I want to get this Jeep back on the road. I have a trail ride coming up in Allegan with the Jeep club I'm a part of. So first thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and get these winch cables out of the way. I've had this winch for like 4 years now, and there's no corrosion on these wires. If it's plugged in all the time, I'd probably be replacing them by now. So I'm gonna move those out of the way for now. And we're gonna go ahead and see if we can match this up to our hose that we got with our kit that we're making. See if this will even go together any way, and it looks like it will. This could actually go over the top. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove this hose clean up here. I'm also gonna make sure that this connection does fit over this, which it does, so this can connect to the filter. All right guys, so yeah, I'm trying to fill up my cabinet. I would like to get some stickers from you guys as well. If you have a YouTube channel or a small business, hit me up by email, Facebook, or Instagram, and let's get your stickers on here. So I met these guys at the off-road show in Kalamazoo. I'll put the details down below. They gave me a sticker to throw on the cabinet. So if you want some free advertisement for your YouTube channel, or if you got a small business, hit me up again by email or Instagram or Facebook. Now back to the video. So I'm going to start by getting the hose connected to the intake here. So I'm going to go ahead and loosen up the clamps, or at least this clamp for now, so that way I can use the flexibility of the hose here. I'll bring it up when I'm ready to mount. Oh, didn't know that came off. Is there a better way to mount it with it off? Yeah, that fits over pretty good. Let's see my other mount over here. I don't think that's gonna help me any. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and stretch this all the way out. Hopefully you guys can see this in the shot. Yep. We're gonna go ahead and stretch this out completely. Might be easier to take it off over there. We'll see once we get further along. Nope, I think this is gonna work great. So I'm gonna get my hose clamp here. I may have to get a bigger one, which I have plenty around here if I need to. I can build my own too. Let's see if this one will open up enough. All right, that's probably as far as it's gonna go. Ooh, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to make one. Let me go get the stuff. I'm gonna make a custom hose clamp for this and then I'll be right back. So I have this custom hose clamp kit I bought off of Amazon. Definitely worth having these. You can make your own custom hose clamps. When you need a real big one, you don't have to spend like 10 bucks at AutoZone. I think this whole thing was like $8. I'll put the price up in the corner and a link in the description. So we're gonna build a custom hose clamp for this. Real easy. We're just gonna measure out what we need. Fit that in a little bit. Then we bend it down. Then this end, straighten it out a little bit. Makes it a little easier. You can't do this without cutting yourself. I don't think it's possible. Start her up. Hopefully I left enough space. If not, we'll be making another one. I think so. That's good. Oh, close. So yeah, leave yourself an inch and a half, 2 inches. I did about an inch and a half, so do 2 inches extra. Just to make sure you got enough. But this will work. And since I'm bleeding on it, it'll run, which is always plus. All right. All right, we're good to there. Let me go ahead and turn you guys back where you can see. Now we'll go ahead and get this connected. There we go. Let's get ready for a little bit of a fight there. Of course, now I left this off. Oh well. We'll spin it back around it. Go. I want to get where the old band used to go around, right there. So we're sitting in the same spot. Pretty much. Perfect. My screwdriver. Of course, you can get a bit and a drill or impact and do this way faster, but I like to feel how tight I'm getting it. It's easy to over tighten plastic stuff and break it. We don't have to go too crazy. We just want it where it's not going to slip off. All right. See how tight that feels. That's probably plenty. All right, so we're hooked up to our air intake. Now we're going to go ahead and figure out where we want to mount this and get our filter set up. I guess I could have used this, but I didn't need to. You can if you want to. It'd probably be a little stronger, but I did it this way. All right, so I'm gonna shut the camera off a minute, figure out how I want to mount this, get everything lined up, and then I'll bring you guys back. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this on here so we're ready when we go on our filter, which side fits. So it wants to fit this side. Yep, perfect. Then I'm gonna put this back on here. And we'll go ahead. That'll be done. So I'm thinking I might do here. I don't know. I'd like to get down in there, but there's not a lot of room here. Let me back up so you can see what's going on here. So I still don't have a lot of room down there. But I think I'm gonna make it fit right here. So we're gonna go ahead and put the filter on. And pull it out this way because all that stuff moves that way. We got it on there. Oh, we need the clamp. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and put our clamp on. And then we're gonna put our mount here. Put everything there. We're gonna tighten our clamp up, way up, because it is very long here. So we'll go ahead and get this all tightened up. It's gonna take a little bit. Again, grab a drill. If you wanna do it faster, I would say do one with a clutch so you don't over tighten and break stuff. Right now this is backed by metal, so it probably won't. Make sure you guys can see. So it probably won't break, but I like to hand tighten so I can feel how tight I'm getting. To kind of judge if I'm gonna break something. Taking forever. Should take my own advice. But I won't because I'm stubborn. Should be starting to get tight now. Yep. Almost there. This should tighten everything up. All right, we're good now. All right. So we're gonna push that over. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. I almost like to be here. I mean, I could always mount it to these struts here. Two. Put 2 zip ties done. But I'd really like to mount it a little better than that. Yeah, that's gonna work fine, but all right, let me look around this, make sure where I want to put it, and then I'll come back. Okay, so I'm gonna very carefully mount mine to my switch box here. Obviously, if your Jeep was still stock, you wouldn't have that in the way. You could just mount here to the side of the inner fender here. So I'm gonna mount mine here. If yours is stock or doesn't have anything in the way, just mount it down anywhere on here. So I'm gonna mount this here using some very shallow screws to my switch box, and then I'll probably do some zip tie action as well. So let me get the stuff I need and I'll be right back. But first, let's go ahead and get this clamp tightened up. I'm gonna use the mount. Give it a little more. Yep, that feels good. Then we get a really really short Lord's fastener. All right, I got my clutch set on like 14. Yeah, I know the depth of this box. This isn't going to touch anything. Where it's at, of course, make sure before you drill anything that you know what you're drilling into. There's one. Get on the other side, get the other one. All right, that's not going nowhere. And then so I don't have a crazy noise, I'm gonna do a big zip tie across the filter just to hold it out of the way. Once again, I got the switch box in the way, so this isn't the prettiest installation, but if you don't have a switch box in the way, then you can do it a lot better. Just mount it to the inner fender. Plus, this isn't a daily for me. This is a trail Jeep, so I do drive it to the trail, but that's about it. All right, so I'm gonna go right there. There we go. That's good. I have a broken bolt on my intake. That's why that still moves around, but this is good. All right, so this is good and solid. It'll work for me. All right, so this is what we ended up with. I'm happy with it. It's plenty solid enough for what I need. I may even do a second zip tie, up here. But overall, this is gonna work perfectly good for what I use this Jeep for. And for a third time, if you don't have the switch box in the way like I do, just go to the inner fender. There's plenty of places along there and you can build a custom. So overall, for what I'm using it for, I rate this kit pretty well, especially for under 40 bucks. I mean, it's not for performance. If you have an actual sports car or something, go get a nice kit. This is just to free up space so I can get my switch box in there. And it'll work perfectly fine for my little 4-cylinder Jeep. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. If you want to see more videos on this Jeep and other projects like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you in the next video. Welcome back to Low Buck Builds. In today's video, we're going to be installing and reviewing this 8-gang RGB switch panel from SUPAREE. So stay tuned. I should have been a fishing YouTuber. So in today's video, we're going to be installing an 8-gang switch from SUPAREE. They asked me to do an unbiased review, so we're going to check it out. We're going to do an unboxing, we're going to install it, and we're going to check out the features and overall see how it ranks. The biggest thing I'm looking for is a solution where I do not have to drill more holes or cut more holes in my dash. So in a previous video, we installed their SUPAREE trail lights and did a review on those. Today we're going to be checking out their switch box and see if it's an easier solution than just using a harness. So let's get started. All right, let's open it up and see what we get in the box. All right, we got a thank you message. Instructions for using the lights. More instructions. Couple pages of button stickers or covers. All right, so we got our main control box. There we go. That's our fuses, positive, negative. All right. A few other things. All right. Feels pretty solid. Steel bottom, plastic top. We got some power cables. Hey, we got a screwdriver. some mounting hardware we probably won't use. Zip ties. A fused link. Then we have, looks like a master power switch. Which if that's what this is, that's pretty nice. Yep, a 60 amp breaker with a cover. And our switch panel feels pretty solid. Hard plastic, feels like it might have some steel in the middle. It's got some weight to it. Looks like we have plenty of cable too. Little sticker we'll add to our cabinet. I added the sticker to the collection on the cabinet. And if you'd like to get your sticker for your business or for your YouTube channel or anything like that, contact me on Facebook or Instagram and we'll set it up. We'll get it on the cabinet. We want to see how many different stickers we can get from all over the world. It looks like we might have a couple of mounting brackets as well. Couple mounting brackets. All right, and that looks like about it. Oh, and we have a few more mounting brackets. All right, so let me get this stuff put up. We'll take a look at the directions and we'll see how well they're written. Okay, so you have these brackets here you can mount to the box and make it swivel and do all kinds of stuff. I am not going to use these. I'll take a picture. I will show the instructions here, and if you want to mount it that way you can. I am just going to mount the box flat inside the Jeep somewhere. I don't need swivels and all this crap in here. That's just me, but if you want to mount it with where it swivels or you can mount it to different surfaces, you have plenty of brackets here to choose from. So I'm going to find a place on the Jeep and get this mounted. I'll go ahead and take a quick shot of the instructions here. So as you can see, there's quite a few different ways you can do the switch panel and the control box. But again, I'm just going to mount it with the two mounting holes on the back, flat to a surface. So let's find a spot to put it. So it's getting pretty packed up in here. As you can see, I got so much stuff mounted. So let me take a look for a few, figure out where I want to mount it. Might find a way to mount it to the fuse panel here. So give me a minute and I'll be right back. So after struggling for a little bit to try and find a spot to flat mount this, I ended up removing the air box and I'm going to do a custom mount. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a conical filter, eliminate this air box to make some more room. I just don't have anywhere to mount it up here. I got so much stuff going on already. So I got this big open space here. I'll probably weld a plate in or bolt a plate in, bolt the box down here, and then just wire it to the battery from there, and the lights. And just open up the space by getting the conical filter. So let me get that stuff ordered and then we'll come back to this. Alright, so here's the plan. I'm going to mount this bracket right here. I'm going to use two of the Lord's fasteners to hold that in place, and then an 1/8 inch drill bit, drill them out, and I'm going to rivet them. I thought about welding it, but I'd like to be able to remove it. I can always drill it out later if I need to get to the strut mount. So that's the plan. Let's get to it. Alright, we got our 1/8 inch bit. We tried one before, but it's a little too dull. Alright, I got my little rivet gun, 1/8 inch rivets. This should be plenty strong enough. If not, later I'll just drill a hole in it and put a bit in it. I just want to get this in here so we can move on. Yeah, that's not going anywhere. All right, let me get everything cleaned up and we'll go ahead and start getting this ready to wire. So I did get my new filter and my new battery cables in. These are 3 feet. These are like 1 feet. So by mounting it further away, I just want to make sure I had enough. So, okay, so this is why you buy these kits and you pay the money. Because this is super easy to wire. Positive the battery, that's these big cables here. Negative the battery, those big cables there. This is your control wire that goes to your switch panel, goes right there. There's an accessory there if you want to do an accessory. We're not going to worry about that right now. These are actually numbered 1 through 8. We're going to do 1 and 2 for the lights. This is going to be the dims and this is going to be the high beams. And these are wired together, so we're only going to need 1 ground, I believe. If for some reason it needs a second ground, we'll just run a wire between the 2 grounds there. So I just want to give you a quick overview. Let's get it in the car. These lights, again, you got a yellow and a red. I'm not sure which one's high beam or low beam. We'll have to test it. If it's backwards, then we'll just switch it out. Same thing for this light over here. So we're gonna go ahead and get some cable and we'll go ahead and get the box mounted and we'll go from there to here. All right, so the reason I use this plate is because it's already got screws to line up with the box here. I want my ground towards the body side, and that's what I was afraid of. I'm not too damn close. It's not the end of the world. I will just I'll move this pipe out of the way. I believe this is for air conditioning. I don't have the air conditioning even hooked up anyway. I think we'll just get everything wired up and just put this over across the top. It ain't gonna hurt anything. We're just gonna run a self-tapper over here. Probably trust the self-tapper more than the other bolt not to come loose. I'll leave it like that. If it starts to come loose or anything, I'll put a regular bolt in it with some nylocks on the back end. But I think it'll be fine for now. All right, next let's get our battery cables hooked up. The one that came with the kit's plain long enough for ground. All right. Kind of wondering if I should have just did this first and then put the box in, but too late now. All right, there's our ground. We'll keep, actually I'm gonna let that turn a little. Go fairly tight, not too crazy. All right, so I picked up a few things at Harbor Freight and some things I still have for the wiring. We're gonna use 14 gauge, which is heavy, but it's what I got. I got these heat shrink connectors with the solder in the middle. I got some wrap, I got some small cable ties. I also got this style of cover as well. So let's go ahead and get these lights wired up. The thing I'm gonna do is run cable from here to here. Just some wire from here to here, and then we'll mix from here to the box with that wire. So that's pretty nice. All right, so now we're gonna run this over to the other light and then run that light up to the power box. All right, so I got all my wiring ran. So to keep from confusion, I painted this red. It was a black wire, but I didn't want to waste more wire. I used the scrap piece from the light earlier, so I just spray painted it red. Port 1 and 2 are right here. This red wire is gonna go, after it dries, it's gonna go in 2, and red and black is gonna go in 1 here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these stripped out. And we'll go ahead and get these installed. Go ahead and get these all loose. And it shows you which one's positive and which one's negative. going to shorten these down a little bit. Probably about 1/4 inch. Hopefully this wire's not too thick for these. Screwdriver. There we go. There's one. Don't go too crazy, but you want them fairly tight. I call it 2-finger tight. I'm going to strip out our last one here. Hopefully it's dry. Maybe it's not dry. That's fine, I'll live. A little paint on my hand ain't gonna kill me. Jeez, I don't want to get covered in paint. Come on. Shit. Get in there. Alright, they're all installed. Get this paint off and we'll give her a test run. Alright, so we got our connections all set up there. I shouldn't have to have a ground because that uses this common ground with the dim lights and the brights. That's how we got going so far. I think I'm going to try mounting this to the top of the box once we get everything else done. So next we need to figure out where we want to run our control wire through the cab. So I'm going to find an open grommet and then I'll be back. So I'm a fan of using this grommet right here. That's what I typically use. The only negative is you got to run along the whole side of the Jeep. They give us plenty of cable though, so I think I'm going to look at that first. So we'll run through here and then we'll just tie on to this piece right here. Just to temporarily check it, we're just going to use nuts here and hook it up temporarily just to test it. Later on, I got to replace this anyway, as you can tell, and we'll make a better connection. Alright, so we got everything temporarily hooked up just so we can test it. You can see we got a red light there because we haven't put the controller in. So let me go ahead and plug the controller up and we'll give it a test. Alright, so let's go ahead and plug this up and give it a test. Alright, we're connected. Ooh, cool. Alright, we got our lights lit up. You can turn them off, on, and different brightness. And you can change the colors. That's cool. Like the green. And boom. So, bring the controller out. Alright, so that's the first one. It works. Second one's dim. So that's what I was afraid of. I got them backwards. So I just need to switch to the reds for 1 and 2 around, because the dim ones are 2 right now instead of 1, which I wasn't sure when I did the wiring which one was orange and which one was red, so I'll fix that. But still, it's working. So I believe if you hold it, I know there's a way to make them where they'll flash and do other things. I'll have to look at the manual. So anyway, we're working. It's pretty cool too. I haven't put the things on because I wasn't sure which ones were 1 and 2. So let me get these wires switched real quick. Good. Alright, let's test them. Alright, power. Yep, low beam, high beam. Pretty sweet. And again, you can change the colors. I'll go ahead and get the little inserts and put in here. Let's see. I think there's a way you like hold it in or something and it'll make it where they flash. Alright, so now that we tested it, we know everything works. Now I'm going to tidy it up. I'm going to get the cover on, get this mounted, figure out how to get into the cab. All this is going to get covered in that plastic piping. So, and then get my winch cables over there, back mounted up here. So I'm basically going to tidy everything up. I'm going to do that stuff off camera, and then we'll come back for a final review. Alright, so overall, I think it's a good product. Saves a lot from harnesses. The price, $100 sounds like a lot, but you buy 8 harnesses and switches and do all that wiring. I mean, it's worth it. Plus, then on top of that, it was very easy to wire this. Most of this video has been just prep and stuff. The actual product itself is great. I mean, it's probably a 20-minute wiring job if you already have your lights done and a place to mount it. Well, I ordered some grommets. I'm not going to wait till they put it in to finish the video. I'm actually going to run the wiring through down here, put a grommet in, and then I'm going to use Velcro and attach it somewhere along here, maybe even on the side here. That's my plan, but you're not going to see that in this video just because I'm not going to wait another 2 days to get this video out. If you like this video, make sure to hit that like button. If you want to see more videos on this Jeep and other projects, then hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Welcome back to Low Buck Builds. In this video, we're going to be replacing the hard top rear window, so stay tuned. I should have been a fishing YouTuber. So here's what we got to work with. We got new hinges. We got this just hanging. Hopefully it's still good. Our struts are missing, so hopefully the new ones have the backing. Also, the big fun part is I gotta take this apart and rekey it. So let's get it into the garage and get busy. Before we start replacing the window, we have to work on replacing this lock. I do not have a key to this lock. This is locked, so there's no reason to do the window and not be able to open this up and seal it properly. So first thing we're going to do today is we're going to take this apart from back here, pop this lock, and change it out. So let me get the tools ready and I'll be right back. And we're also going to be working on the seal in the front, because as you can see, well, maybe you can't, but yeah, my latches aren't lining up, so I'm thinking the seal's not lined up right. We're also going to clean this. It's pretty dirty. So we got to get those two things done, and then we got a replacement window we're going to put back here. So let's get to it. So the first thing I'm going to do is get these bolts off and take off this back cover right here. I'm hoping I can get access to the back end of our lock. I should be able to disconnect it and go ahead and unlock it from inside. So let's try to do that. Alright, looks like it's a T30. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a ratchet and we'll start taking these out. Now some of these are going to be fun because of the bed liner paints I put on here. But we'll get the ones that come out first and then we'll worry about the ones that don't. Most of them came out easy. I got one that's going to be a pain in the butt, of course. That's going to be really hard to get to. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to get in.
A few moments later.
So the problem I have is I was able to get all of them, but there's one back here. There's only like 1.5 inches of space to get to it. So I can get a cutoff wheel and cut it off. I can just bend this and bend it back and say, who cares, which may happen. Or I can try to take all this off and take this bracket here off, but it's got a bolt that's similarly bad to get to. So give me a minute, I'll figure out what I want to do and we'll go at it.
A few moments later.
Alright, so I ended up going with plan, I don't know, CD, something like that. But I got all these bolts out. I couldn't get to this one. So I ended up just pulling this out, reaching back in there, and there's a rod on the back end of here. I pulled it up to unlock it, and then I was able to open it up. Now I have comfortable access to everything. I'm gonna pull this off. We're gonna go ahead and switch that lock out, and we'll be good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this off, and then I can bend this back out somewhat close so I can put it back together. So let me get some tools and the part, and I'll be right back. All right, back at it. Right here's the lock. All right. All right, so here's the whole assembly. And right there is what we're after, is this lock. I gotta remove this bar, this little rod, and then this clip right here, it's gotta bang out that way and this whole lock will come out. Let me get some tools and we'll go at it. There we go. Oops. Alright, so that's out. And now, it should pop out. It's just a little hard because of the bed liner. Done. Just like that, we're out. Alright, so I bought this 3-pack off of Amazon. Link will be in the description. Comes with matching keys, 2-door keys, and one of the tailgates. So let's get them installed. Alright, so I thought I had a set, but these are actually Ford. I noticed as soon as I seen the keys, this isn't right. And these are not going to fit, they're smaller, or the Fords are bigger. This is smaller. I thought maybe I could switch the arms out, but these are not going to fit in the tailgate without a bunch of modifications. So for now, I'm just going to leave it unlocked. I'm going to order a set. When it comes in, I'll put a new set in. But now it shuts and opens, so that's all I care about for today. So next, we're going to go up front and see what's going on with the seals. All right, so I got something going on with my seals. My latches aren't lining up, so I'm going to go ahead and lift this up, put some 2x4s under it real quick, and just go through the seals, see if there's anything that's kinked or anything else going on, and see if I can get this latched. Because I don't want to put new glass in and then have it flip over and break or something. I need to fix it anyway. So I'll go ahead and grab tools and get everything set up, and we'll be right back. So what I'm going to do to start is I'm just going to lift it up with one arm and just kind of check the seals with my other arm. So yeah, I'm going to lift up and just fill the seals. Feels a little goofy right there, but not that bad. This side seems okay. Alright, I'd be on it for a while. I can't get anywhere. It's like maybe the seals just swelled up or something. But I gotta move on. We gotta move on. We got other things to do. Alright, so the next thing we're gonna do is get these old hinges off. Should be a 10mm, 2 of them. I also need to get these electrical pulled off. As you can see, it's still connected to the old pieces of windshield. This right here, I don't know if it's ever going to work again, but that's fine, I don't care. There's electrical for the box. I put it around here somewhere. So let's get these off, we'll get the glass out, start prepping it to get back on. These took a minute, but there's a center button and you just push and it'll release.
There we go. It's that button. This button right here, you push. Alright, let's get this unwrapped and see what we got. I bought this off of eBay. And most places are like $400. I was able to find this one for, I think, about $2. I'll put the price up in the top right hand corner. But it was a good deal.
The glass actually came with silicone for insulation. I was surprised.
It looks like we got urethane adhesive.
They definitely went overboard with packaging this, but I don't blame them. So the glass for these run about $400 everywhere I could find until I found this listed on eBay. A lot of times people will just throw the tops away when this back glass gets broken out because it costs so much to replace it. Anymore though, good used top is about $1,500, so it is worth it to keep it and replace the glass. So you used to be able to get a new top for like $400, so it made no sense to keep it.
And it did not come with the strut mount, so I'm gonna have to do those later. I gotta find my new hinges. So let me get some parts together and we'll be right back. Alright, I got these hinges off of Amazon. There will be a link in the description. There'll be 2 of them, and they are different. One of them has a lot longer bolt than the other. And that's it. Alright, the smaller one goes on the left because you don't have the windshield wiper and all that stuff. So that would be this one. I believe it goes like that. Alright, so we're back at it. It took me a minute to get this cleaned up from the last glass. So, oh, do I have this back? No, that's right. So I'm taking a guess on this. So we'll have to see whenever. We'll have to see if I guess right, but I'm guessing like this. Then this hinge comes over here. And it seems like there should be a seal or something here. This doesn't look right. Yeah, I mean, that makes no sense. I'm missing something. Let me look at the old hinge and see if there's a piece missing. Alright, I was missing a piece off the old hinge, so I got it all now. So there's this little bushing here that goes on here.
The audio is really low here, but there was a bushing that was on the old hinge that I pulled off, and now I'm putting it on here. And I'll show you real quick how to do it.
So you got this little rubber bushing here that goes in between this side down towards the glass. It slides up in there like that. Just like that. These actually go down. I gotta change the other one like that.
So first I'm going to go ahead and screw on the nut here on the right side, and I'll show you how to assemble the hinge.
Alright.
So basically you got the little plastic pieces that came with the glass that go from the top down, and then you put the hinge bolt in from the bottom up. It's a 10mm bolt, and that's how you install the hinge.
I'm going to go ahead and take this off and flip this plastic piece around. This little thing that comes with it actually goes the other way around. That way. And then this goes on. These extra pieces are from the old glass. The old ones were 11, and these are 10. Again, I'm not going to go nuts, I'm just going to snug them for now. So that way I can still adjust them a little bit if I need to. Alright, let me get everything set up and we'll get this put back on. Alright, so I grabbed some assistance to put the bolts in. But as you can see, we're squared away there. I gotta figure out what I did with my little sprayer nozzle. And I got the electrical hooked up on both sides of this. I gotta put this cover back on. Gotta do the wiper out here. And I got the piece that goes across the bottom. We're gonna do that next. So let me get everything set up and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm going to try it first without using any kind of glue or something, but later on if I need it then I'll add glue later. So my guess it probably goes like that. Oh, that's definitely going to need some glue. Some RTV or something. It's so cold in here, I don't know if I think I'm going to wait to put this on. Alright, so I have to get some RTV to put this on. It's too cold in here right now. It's 41 degrees, so I don't feel like warming the garage up again tonight, so I'll put it on later. Let me see if I can find a sprayer. We'll go ahead and do that. Using an interesting technique, I got the nut back on the assembly here. And then I hooked up the sprayer hose here. I'm going to have to get some new ball studs to put the struts on. And they are expensive, so I might make my own. You'll see that in another video. Alright, so that's as far as we're going to go in this video. I'm going to order some stuff. I'm going to go ahead and order the ball studs for these. We'll get the RTV, we'll get that on, that's not a big deal. So then we can get their struts put in. Besides that, I mean, I gotta put that cover back on, I'll do that later as well. But overall, she's in, and I'm pretty happy with the glass. It seems pretty nice, seems pretty thick. I was worried about it being real thin because it's half the price of the other one, but nope, it seems to be fitting really good. Alright, so in the next episode, we'll finish up, we'll put all that stuff in, we'll go ahead and get our front lights hooked up and do a couple other things. I gotta get a spare because the spare I have is a stock rim and it's not gonna fit on here with 33s, so I need to get a spare. We'll get that put on. I got a nice little cover for it. We'll go ahead and get the hardware and get our top fastened down. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far, thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next video. So this was originally supposed to be one of those repair and ride type videos. Everybody's seen them where you repair something or upgrade something and then you go for a trail ride. Unfortunately, I was unable to get the Jeep in until like 10 o'clock the night before the trail ride, which I had to be up at 5 a.m. So it was a sprint. I didn't have time to let the snow melt. I didn't have time to wipe all the water off, so water was leaking everywhere from the snow melting. It was chaos. And I was unable to get the top to latch down with the new seal. There was a simple reason for it, but because I was in a hurry, I missed it. In this video, I'll show you my struggle first, getting ready for the trail ride, then the trail ride, and then afterwards I'll show you the proper way to replace the seal. I did put chapters in, so feel free to skip around and enjoy the video. I should have been a fishing YouTuber. Welcome back to Low Buck Builds, and today we're just going to do a down and dirty video on getting this Jeep ready for a trail ride in Allegan tomorrow. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to replace this top windshield seal. I already got the hard top bolts removed and got it slid back. The seal was too thick, so I can't, it's probably swelled from just being old, but I couldn't shut my latches, and whenever you drive down the road, the cold air would come through, the snow's been coming through, so we're going to go ahead and replace the seal real quick. From what I can see, it's real simple. There's just a couple of these little tabs here that hold it in, so we'll unsnap those across and put the new one in. There's going to be a link in the description for the new seal. It's about 70 bucks, somewhere around there. I'll put the price in the corner. Alright, so it was real simple. Just those two tabs were holding it, and then it was on the top of windshield. It feels pretty swell. I'm gonna use some pliers to pull these tabs. I'll keep them in case I need them on the next one. And I'll go grab the new one and I'll bring you guys back. Alright, I picked this one up on Amazon. Like I said, it's about $70 or so. So we're gonna go ahead, make sure it's the same as the other one. And we'll throw it on real quick. Look at the other one over there. Yep, same thing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and get some pliers to pull these little things out. I'll give you guys a closer look. And then we'll put the new one on. All right, there's one of these on each side. We're just gonna pop them out. So I went ahead and installed the new seal. I made sure not to pull the little plastic tab yet to seal it in place because I wanted to make sure that the hardtop fit first, and then I could pull that out later. And that was a good idea because I couldn't get it latched once I put the new seal in. I even tried using a rubber hammer to tap the seal down further in place. And again, I couldn't get the safety latches down. So I ended up just abandoning it, pulling the seal off, latching the latches so that I don't have to worry about the top flying off whenever I'm pulling it down the highway tomorrow. Better safe than sorry. Okay, so I removed the seal and now they latch. So maybe that seal's for a soft top. I don't know, I'm gonna go with it though because I'd rather just not have it fly off. So, alright, moving on. Alright, so we got all our fasteners back in. So the top's done. I really need to clean this. It's really bad in here, but it's probably not gonna happen tonight. It's already too late. So yeah, I'm gonna have to set up a fan overnight to blow this out and get it dried out for in the morning. Overall, it'll be nice. I wanted to get my switch panel hooked up, but that's not gonna happen either. It's just too late. So the last thing I'm gonna do is get my high lift jack back on here and then get this where it's drying out overnight. All right, we're gonna leave the fan on it all night. Hopefully it'll get all good and dried out. I dried up what I could with the cloth, and hopefully that'll dry it. I got the battery hooked up because I had a little bit of a start issue. It hasn't been started in probably a month or so. It's been cold, so we're gonna make sure we have a nice full battery in the morning. And we also got our jack back on. So we'll go charge some stuff for tomorrow, and I'll see you in the morning when we load it up. Got her all loaded up. Get ready to head to Allegan. And again, I set up chapter markers. If you want to skip the trail ride and get back to working on the Jeep, go ahead and click on the next chapter. I ended up unloading the Jeep at Ely Lake and parking there. And then it was about a 15-minute drive to where I was meeting the rest of the club at a farm supply store in Allegan, Michigan. The reason I trailered up is because I found that you get to have more fun when you don't have to worry about driving it 2 hours home. And you can't really take the highway in this vehicle. It maxes out 55, 60, and it's not really fun at 60. We had about 25 Jeeps show up, which was a pretty good group. And the TJ was looking good and it ran flawlessly. There wasn't a ton of snow. This was mainly a ride for people with brand new Jeeps and they're new to four-wheeling, but it's still a lot of fun. There was some nice sized mud holes to play in and a few other things. For the most part, it was just cruise through the woods in the snow. It did start snowing later, which was kind of fun because the snow was coming through where the windshield seal was, and the wind noise was insane after you got to 40
just from all the wind coming through. So I definitely can't wait to get home and get that seal fixed at this point. Overall, it's a pretty fun trip. I got to hang out with my wife and my daughter. We got to have some fun out in the snow. We got to hang out and check out the backwood trails in Allegan. All pretty much four-wheel drive, high. A couple of spots I ended up putting on the rear locker, but just through some big mud puddles, which unfortunately I didn't get any video of. But overall, it was just a fun, chill ride in the woods. We had a lot of fun. What else are you going to do on a Saturday in the middle of January in Michigan? So we had a blast. It's always fun to go out on a Saturday afternoon and hang out with people that enjoy Jeeps like you do, and off-roading and camping in the outdoors. I think the best part for me was getting to take my daughter, and she was having a blast in the back seat. Worst part of the day, having to put her back up on the trailer and head home. Luckily nothing broke, everything ran great. It's a little cold, and everybody knows these heaters don't work the greatest, especially whenever your windshield seal is leaking. So let's get back to the shop and get that fixed. Alright, welcome back. It's about a week later after the trip, and I let this sit in all week so we're not going to have water dumping over our heads. And I have a pretty good theory on what's going on. So I am going to skip showing it, but I'm going to go ahead and get the bolts out of the back and get this lifted up so we can get the seal back on. So give me a minute and I'll be right back. Okay, I was thinking about it in the middle of the night after I got back from the trip. I wonder if these pads right here are blocking this up, and that's why they didn't fit. I got them on both sides, but it doesn't look like they're in the way, but these right here might be. So I'm going to take these pads off. They're pretty much shot anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and take these off of both sides, and then we're going to get our seal back on. If I have to, I'll throw a strap over it and bring it down to get it latched. So yeah, let's get it done. Okay, so now we're clear here. I got rid of that bulky strap that was there. I'm hoping this is all still good. We're gonna go ahead and put our seal back on, tap it down. And then if I have to, I'll put a ratchet strap over it and pull it down to get it latched. So let me get the seal back on and we'll go from there. Alright, so here's how the seal looks. It's right here. Got it pretty nice and even all the way across. I'm wondering if I gotta cut some stuff here, if maybe that's what's causing my issues. Which if I have to, I'll just cut all this off, I don't care. But we're gonna go ahead and try to get the top on. So basically it's a game of small adjustments to get these tops back on right. Just take your time. You'll know because all the holes in the back will line up and everything up front will look right and line up. So you just got to keep going back and forth to make small adjustments till everything lines up straight. The handle was my issue. I was able to pretty easily get the latches back in the Jeep. And I didn't have to cut anything or adjust the seal at all. That handle was just keeping it propped up a little bit, whereas making it hard to latch. All right. Okay, we got them fastened in. Seals on. Looks good. We'll go ahead and put all our bolts back in, and we should be good to go. All right, so I believe this was our culprit. That's why we couldn't get it in there.
It was just on this one side. It goes to show if you get in a big hurry, sometimes you miss something as simple as this keeping you from getting it on. Alright guys, thank you for watching. I'm going to go ahead and do a couple other things to this and maybe go on and do some driving around tomorrow. And that'll be in the next video, but that's it for this video. So if you liked the video, make sure you hit that like button. If you're not already subscribed, you like this content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next video.